The former world champion versus the current E-Champions League winner. Yes, guys, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Emre Yilmaz versus Msdossary in the FGS playoffs for the World Cup, right? As we can see, Dossary is playing in the black kit and he is really exploiting those wings. He wants to exploit those wings because, as we can see and as we will see in this matchup, there will be a lot of spaces for Dossary on the wings. Yilmaz is playing a 4-3-2-1. As we can see, Dossary is playing some sort of 5 or a 3 back, which we will know in a short while. Yilmaz is also looking to exploit the wings. Shapeshifter Pele. Guys, see, Hakimi at CB is something I do not like, right? Because it is a high profile matchup in FGS playoffs, and at this point of the game, Hakimi is very weak against attackers like Mbappe, Tots, R9, Trophy, and Pele Shapeshifter, right? So Dossary, like I mentioned, he wants to exploit those wings. He's looking to exploit them, holding the ball with Mbappe, goes into Bellingham, triggers Davis to run. As we can see over here, he has the spaces on the wings. So from the first 8 minutes, we can see Dossary really wants to exploit those wings and wants to cut the ball back against Yilmaz, right? Which is a viable option, but see, this is such a lackluster pass from Msdossary that I do not expect him to make such passes. It's a very lackluster pass, and at the highest level of the game, guys, you cannot make such mistakes. Now this error looks very simple, right? But it is not a very simple error, because if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, guys, he has given easy possession back to Yilmaz. It could have been easily avoided. Now Yilmaz has an additional attack, and it just puts your opponent into a more confident state. But like we mentioned, Yilmaz plays a 4-3-2-1, so his fullback overlaps, right? And Dossary knows that, so he has this space over here. He's looking for those L1 triangle lob passes into his fullbacks and L1 square passes. This was an L1 square pass. Like I mentioned before, L1 square passes are very overpowered, right? Dossary wants to apply that manual pressure. He is playing a high line, and I am not surprised. He backs himself even against the best player in the world. See, he went for a finish shot with R9, guys. If it was a ball roll finish shot, green time, it would have more success rate, but Yilmaz still moved the keeper, and finish shots are very overpowered. Now see, guys, how Dossary is trying to trap Yilmaz. He is marking his hullet, and Yilmaz knows that. But also Dossary, he is great at manual pressing. He reads the opponent's mind so easily. Look what he is going to do. He switches back to Hullet, gets the ball back easily, and now he has so many options, right? He has won the ball high up the pitch, and whenever you win the ball high up the pitch, you have a lot of attacking options, and he has done so well. Now we can see he is trying to fake with Ronaldinho. He is calling Delict shot. He wanted to fake the cutback. Now he finally does that. Step over, gets the penalty. Like I said, where did it come from? It came from him winning the ball high up the pitch, manual pressing. And this is great to see. Even after so many years, Dossary is still at his top game. Let's see if he can convert this penalty. I think he wouldn't be able to. And yes, why isn't he able to convert this penalty, guys? Very simple. Tell me in the comments below. Pause this video and tell me in the comments below. I will tell you. See, now there are two sides of looking at it. It's a penalty kick, it's a 50-50, it can be saved easily or it can be scored easily. But there is one thing that I can criticize, and I think you guys will also criticize, right? Whenever you get the penalty kick, the worst thing that you can do is take the penalty kick right away. That gives the opponent a message, okay, I'm not very confident, and probably I just want to get rid of this penalty kick. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? Now, if Dossary took a couple of seconds before taking this penalty kick, what would have had happened, guys? Yilmaz would have thought, okay, he might go left, he might go straight, he might go right? But he went straight into it, and it was pretty evident that he's gonna go right side, and Yilmaz knew it, and he easily saved the penalty kick, right? Yilmaz finally gets a chance on the break. He is also looking to exploit those wings. Goes down the wing, quick ball roll scoop, very nice, nicely done, goes for the power shot. He is very unpredictable, and that is what I like about Emre Yilmaz. Dossary's defense is rock solid. As we can see, guys, so far Dossary has had more chances than Yilmaz, but Yilmaz, he has not made any silly mistakes. He has been keeping his calm, he has been keeping his composure, and he is very clinical. So when he does get an open chance, he is going to take it, right? So this is why you cannot afford to miss penalty kicks against players like Yilmaz. I would have liked to see more L1 switches into the fullbacks, right? Whenever the fullback is making a run, deep run, and you go with an L1 chip pass like Msdossary has been doing, this is something he could have done more. He had many opportunities for this, and Yilmaz was struggling against such chances, right? But Msdossary opted not to go for these long balls just yet. Into Musiala, step overs, very nice. Musiala is really good as a fullback, by the way. Once again, as we can see, Yilmaz, he is on the attack, wants to play quick tiki-taka football. He always wants to play liquid football. He's going straight at it, direct, being very direct, and it does work for him most of the times. But as we can see, Msdossary, he's not giving him anything. Once again, wants to exploit the space on the wings. This is something he has been doing all this time in this first half, right? Some L1 R1 dribbling, looking for the cutbacks, seeing what Yilmaz does. But again, this has been a big problem, right guys? Like we mentioned earlier, you cannot afford to lose the ball like this. So we are now into the second half. Msdossary is on the attack. It is Davis versus Musiala. Mbappe is making a run, and Msdossary wants to exploit this space over here, right? Let's see if he's able to. Goes for the L1 triangle lob through pass back to R9, and it is a goal. So very good goal from Msdossary. He finally gets the goal. What could have been 2-0 is now 1-0 to Msdossary. He wanted to exploit the wings, and he was finally able to score the goal, right? Now we are into the second leg of this match. Yilmaz did score the equalizer, but we do not have the footage for that equalizer, right? See, this is what I was talking about. Yilmaz, he is very clinical. He was pinned down all that game. Msdossary was all over him, but he did not let it get to his nerves. Guys, Yilmaz was cool as ice in the first leg, right? He was pinned back, Msdossary was all over him, but he did not let it get to him. And this is what I always preach, that players who are cool as ice and they take their chances, they are the ones who always come out on top. And we have seen this year in, year out in professional FIFA, right? Once again, Msdossary has started the second leg very well. Msdossary is able to win the ball back in the opponent's half like he wants to. He has started the second leg very well. He wants to go for the German cross. Very well timed offside trap from Yilmaz, right? Now see, we can see there is this guy over here on the wings. If it is an L1 square pass into this guy, this would just create more havoc for Yilmaz out in the back, right? This is something Msdossary had the opportunity to do so many times in the first leg, but he just wasn't able to do so, right? And when you have such space, you should be able to exploit it before the opponent sees what you're about to do. Now this is very obvious, right? He knew what he is going to do, and he punished him for this. Now this game was very plain. It was back and forth in the midfield with possession. Yilmaz is finally on the attack. Hullet wins the ball back for Msdossary. It is 1-1, 73rd minute, second leg. The nerves are very high, right? You cannot afford to make a mistake at this moment. Hullet with the ball goes into Davis with an L1 square pass. Like we have seen, Msdossary wants to exploit those wings, but he wasn't able to get the cutback. But see, here even with Davis, when he goes with R9, like this is a very 50-50 chance. He did what he could have done in this situation, but I think still there is something more he could have done in this situation, right? That was a very predictable switch into the fullback. You have been doing this for the past 1.5 leg, and the opponent is very good. He of course knows this, and now is the time to switch it up. Now is the time to switch up your tactics. Now is the time to go for your second game plan, right? Even last year we saw Msdossary. It was the 3-1-4-2 formation that really backfired for him, but it is what it is, right? He wins the ball back. Again, manual pressing, very nice. Goes into Mbappe, goes into Musiala. Nice ball roll scoop, very nice. Loses the possession once again when it wasn't even required. The opponent did nothing for him to give the ball back, but still Msdossary gives the ball back to Yilmaz, and now Yilmaz is on the counter attack, right? Like I said, you cannot afford to make these mistakes at such a high profile match. There we go. You can see Davis is running, Pele is running. Hakimi versus Pele, and Pele easily pushes Hakimi off the ball and scores the goal. Remember what I said? You cannot play Hakimi as a center back at this moment of the game. We are so far into FIFA 23 that we just cannot see someone like Hakimi playing as a fullback, right? This goal not only happened because of Hakimi, but you can see like he is playing as a middle CM, right? He is playing as a middle CB, sorry. He has overlap with Van Dijk. Msdossary is applying direct pressure. He's playing a high line. There is so much space for Emre Yilmaz to exploit now that Pele is making a run. Davis is making a run, right? R9 is on the ball. He gives him his back. What does Msdossary do? He tries to track the runs, but it is just too late. The line was too high. He switches into Hakimi, which is the right switch at this moment. But like we can see, guys, if this was someone like Van Dijk or anyone who's an out and out CB, I'm pretty sure he's getting the ball back from Pele. See, in the 50-50 duel, Pele is always winning against Hakimi, and that is what happened. So this is how Yilmaz beat Msdossary. He was calm, he was composed, he went and took his opportunities. Dossary, on the other hand, couldn't take his opportunities, right? It was a pretty 50-50 game, and it comes down to these small margins, and it did come down to that small margin. When he saw that opportunity, he went for that opportunity and scored the goal with Pele. And like I said, you cannot afford to play Hakimi at center back, and you need to switch up your tactics when you have been playing the same kind of style for 1.5 leg against the best player in the world right now. There is something you need to do about it. You need to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Commiserations to Msdossary. He couldn't make it to the World Cup this year. Yilmaz did make it to the World Cup, back-to-back World Cups for him. Now click here to see an in-depth breakdown of Yilmaz's gameplay.